Welcome back. Returning to school, it can bring a range of emotions, including anxiety. So here to help is Colleen Harding from the Cleveland School of Etiquette. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
You know, I can't imagine what kids go through these days. It seems like this younger generation is dealing with anxiety more than we ever have before.
They are. There's a lot more. They're on the camera, you know, in front of a camera more, way more. And there's a lot more expectations, and I think that they put a lot of stress, bring a lot of stress into their world because they're using social media to develop their confidence, and it's very intimidating. It's because you never measure up. I mean,
No,
you never are going to be good enough according to what other people are saying. It's rough.
And I know this is something that affects young children, but then you even think about the kids going off to college for the first time too, and how it might affect them. What would be some good tips that would be helpful to trying to just calm the nerves of these kids?
Well, first of all, I always recommend that you come up with an exercise where they think outside themselves, because when you take the onus off yourself and you think about somebody else, it's not quite as scary. So, for example, if you're sending young kids to school for the first time, or maybe they're going back to the fourth grade, fifth grade, you know, have them come home with a story about where they helped somebody, or they were nice to somebody, or they took care of somebody. Because when you start to think outside yourself, the anxiety starts to cease a little bit and comes back. So,
what a good
and
way.
it's a great way to have a conversation too with them. You know, they come in, you know, usually you say, how was your day? Fine. What'd you do? Nothing.
Yep.
What do you want for a snack? I don't know. You know, it's all like, so, but if you say, okay, how'd you do? What'd you do for somebody? You know, what'd you do outside yourself? It gets people trained to think outside themselves so they don't focus on what's holding them back or what's intimidating them or making them nervous.
That is a great point. And then it gets you as a parent involved with your kids. It gets you having conversations with them, which sometimes they do seem like non-existent when they do give one-word answers often when they're done with school. So it really, it helps, it seems, in a lot of ways to do something like that.
Absolutely, and reward them. Come up with some kind of prize that they want. 15 minutes on their bedtime, or 15 minutes, you know, on something that they really want to do, or dessert. You know, whatever it is, say, because the exercise is going to come with a story. It doesn't say, oh, I just helped someone pick up their book. It actually comes with all right, I was walking down the hall and this gal, you know, this girl dropped her, they don't say gal, this girl dropped her books.
Mine, you know?
Yeah, I don't know anybody under the age of 60 that says gal. But anyway, you know, somebody dropped their books and I helped them pick it up, or somebody was feeling alone or sitting at a lunch table by themselves or something like that. There's going to be a story, and then you will have the opportunity to show some enthusiasm and encourage think outside yourself. You know, when we stop thinking about what we don't have or what we don't portray or what we don't, you know, what we aren't, and think about other people, it kind of like brings it down a little bit. You know?
And it's so amazing the areas that can impact children. And I know I don't want to put you on the spot because I know you are not a dietitian. However, what we're putting in our kids to start the day, as far as food goes, if they're having, you know, certain food that is high in sugar or, you know, things like that, it affects them differently than eating eggs or something like that for breakfast. But even just having the conversations before school, getting them prepped mentally, maybe. I'm sure there's so many things to get the day started right. Good sleep.
Right.
You know?
Good night's sleep, good food, good breakfast, not all sugar, because sugar spikes you and then drops you. So you start off high and then you're all excited, and then all of a sudden you're like in a lull, you know. So good choices, I think, start your day off really, really well with your kids. And the other thing too is, you know, focusing on the positive. I mean, every time you start a new school or you start a new grade, it's a new opportunity to start over. So now you're going to meet new people. You're going to sit next to new people. Look for nice people. Look for people that are going to be fun and funny. I mean, this is an opportunity to step outside the old and reinvent in the new. You know, change things that you didn't like before. You know, it's a great opportunity.
I love it. When you think about the fears, if you were to talk with your child about fears that they might have going into school, and then you say, okay, I understand your fear, but what if this happens? That's amazing. What if, you know, something else?
Right.
Just to get their mindset in a different place.
Absolutely. And encourage them to be funny. Kids aren't funny today. They're so stoic and serious. They sit in front of a screen and it's like, you talk to them and they answer you like a zombie. Encourage them to be creative and funny. You know, ask a friend a funny question or something, and then, you know, curtail it with like asking for a friend,
Yeah.
So what do you think of this? Asking for a friend, just something that like injects a little bit of energy,
And
a little bit
into
of
the mix.
humor.
I get it. I love Colleen. It is so good to see you always. You can always learn more about her School of Etiquette by going to her website, clevelandschoolofetiquette.com. She can help you, your children. It's not just for the little ones, it's for all of us. We could all learn a thing or two from you. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.